Welcome back
to the
VanDyke
Show. Episode 10.
Yes,
Double
sir.
digits.
Double digits. Took a little while, but we're here now.
We're here now. It ain't a bad day to start, though. Football's here. Last night happened. I was kind of high on the Lions before the game. I wish I kind of had that pod before, but it just had that feel of when the Chiefs went into Foxborough after Foxborough won the Super Bowl and they had Alex Mahomes and Kareem Hunt went crazy. It was kind of nobody was talking about the Chiefs, kind of like nobody's really talking about Detroit. And after Kelsey got hurt, it really was, do the Chiefs have somebody that they can go to? No. I think that was kind of answered. They thought they had a guy in Kadarius Toney, but he left his hands in New York.
To be honest, I think the Chiefs played a good fundamental game last night. You got to think about it. Their defense played great. They only allowed 14 points. They only allowed 14 points. They got gifted a touchdown because Kadarius Toney, I guess he forgot how to catch last night. Missed a lot of training camp, always was fighting through injuries. So, I just feel like he wasn't ready for a game, to be honest. I feel like it would have been better if he sat out another week.
And that makes sense because he just got activated that he was going to play the game, last week?
No, I think it was like this week.
This week or last week?
Sure, this week or last week. And
yeah.
Training camp's huge too. Training camp really is huge. That's what makes me wonder how good Nick Bosa is gonna do this week.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a deal. Joe Burrow just got a fat deal. So I'm excited. I think Joe Burrow's deal is gonna affect T. Higgins' contract though.
Yeah, definitely, because now they're saying like he's not even in the team's future, and then that's wild because that's your wide receiver too. So I don't know what Tyler Boyd's getting up there in age also. So what's their next step? They don't have a Travis Kelce at tight end. They got Mixon. Mixon just took a pay cut. Mm-hmm. So what is their plan? I don't know. But that ain't my problem to deal with.
I'm not high on the Bengals this year because I really think losing Jesse Bates is going to be huge for them. They pretty much have a new secondary. For fantasy people, I think Deshaun Watson's going to have a huge week throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. I think Elijah Moore is going to be a sleeper this week. I think he's going to have like 6 catches. I think he might get like 50 yards, maybe a touchdown. He's going to be like a third down guy for Watson. And Nick Chubb full workload is going to be something no one's ever seen before.
No, not since Georgia, that's for sure. So, we can definitely see how that goes. We can hop into the week 1 matchup since you're kind of talking about right now, or we can kind of hop over back to college.
We could go week 10 matchups, or week 1 matchups, but I was going to say I don't think the Chiefs missed Chris Jones as much as people expected last night.
I would agree. I agree with that 100%.
I think other people like George Kalafkits, Mike Dana stepped up. He stepped up last night. I was talking to him today. So, I think their defense is good. Nick Bolton holds that defense together.
Oh, dude, he's on the verge of being a superstar linebacker.
Oh, for sure.
He kind of proved that in the Super Bowl with the scoop and score.
He could have been Super Bowl MVP.
He really could have. Yeah, he played great. Nothing bad to say about Nick Bolton. I think they found a guy in there. You got Justin Reed holding down that back end. Trent McDuffie is another good young corner. You look at Chris Jones. He's not there. He's going to say he's going to hold out till week 8. Send him away. Go get a wide receiver. And there's one guy that wanted his team to give him a new contract by week 1. He's a 1,000-yard guy every single season. Mike Evans.
Go
get him. Send that trade over.
You have Mike Evans and Travis Kelce both in the red zone. That's going to be a tough matchup for any team. I think Kadarius Toney's going to get up to speed. And, I think people sleep on Isaiah Pacheco. I think he proved that last night. I think he got a little dinged up, and it kind of slowed down his workload. But if I'm the Chiefs, man, I'm getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of my backfield. I think Jerick McKinnon's better. I think Pacheco's light years better. So, I'm sending him away, too. I'll give you Chris Jones and Edwards-Helaire for a pick and Evans. At the end of the day.
I agree.
Why keep Jones if you're not going to pay him?
Yeah, exactly. And Evans doesn't want to be there because they're not going to pay him. So it's almost like a perfect fit. You have probably one of the most defensive head coaches in Tampa Bay with Todd Bowles. So he wouldn't be opposed to it. So I would definitely send that over.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's a fair trade, win on each side. Fair trade for sure.
Mahomes is going to put up points, so
Mahomes
Go
needs
get
a
him
guy to go get separation.
yep, and he don't have that right now.
He makes receivers that aren't that good look good. Scantling had a great game last night.
Yes, Scantling did. I wish he would have looked at him a little more because he was hauling in all of his passes. I mean, Rashid Rice, the rookie, he dropped a couple. Sky Moore dropped a couple. It wasn't all on Tony. Tony just dropped the ones that mattered more in the moment.
I think Watson is a sleeper receiver. He always does something good in Kansas City. Always does something good. I mean, he had that little corner route that got him in the red zone. I mean, he's always a guy that people don't take into account, and he goes and gets at least a big catch each game.
I will say this. I think that Kadarius Toney's drops might leave an opening for Justin Ross. I do think Justin Ross might get that chance to kind of hop in there and kind of put a role into that offense. I really do. And I think he has all the talent. He has all the talent,
tough.
But I mean,
it's tough because he plays outside and Tony's more of a slot guy. I mean, if you notice, last night, every time Tony came in the ball game, it was almost like they had a play drawn up for him.
Yeah, like the jet sweeps twice.
Yep. And then they had like that little throwback. It looked like they were going to throw to him.
They had the mesh across the middle with Richie James.
I think that was Patrick Mahomes' fault. I think
Tony
didn't know it was coming to him.
No, I don't think that was Tony's fault.
That's a hard ball.
I mean, honestly, it went right by Richie James's leg. I really don't put that on Tony that much, to be 100% honest. The
way I look at it, you can tell Tony's not 100% because he's not returning punts.
No, and if you looked closely, he had one of his ankles taped up.
I don't think it was the ankle was the problem. I mean, if you've seen, that one play Patrick Mahomes rolled out left, he wasn't running full speed, it looked like. He
didn't look that explosive from what you're used to seeing from him from the Super Bowl last year to what we saw last night. So I'm definitely going to give him a pass. I mean, every guy has a day of the drops. If you've played football, you know how it is. Like, you can't catch nothing. You could literally be the easiest pass in the world, and you'll drop it compared to the hardest pass in the world that you've caught other days. So I definitely am giving him a pass. I don't think that's going to continue, but I do think the Chiefs should still try to reach out for Mike Evans.
I think the Chiefs should reach out for Mike Evans, but at the end of the day, when it comes to February and December through February, I think the Chiefs are going to need Chris Jones more than they'll need a Mike Evans.
So it's a toss-up. I mean, I don't think they should blow everything up right now. I mean, maybe give it a week or two, maybe at least to week 5-ish. But if the defense is still playing good,
offense got to do something.
Then offense has to do something.
I'm not worried about the offense.
No, so if the defense is still doing good, then what's the point of paying a guy that you almost don't even need at that point, you know?
I mean, I'm definitely going to say the run game. It seemed like the thing is the Lions were getting such a good push up front that the fact that the linebackers had to come down, which opened up so much play action to Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra. So, I mean, I think that hurt him last night. But
Amon-Ra played good last night.
All in all, the Chiefs' defense played great without Chris Jones.
Yeah, especially because the Lions are a run-first team. And, I mean, no one had 100 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be good. I mean, he showed some flashes. He's flashy, but they got to get him the ball in the right way.
I mean, I agree, but what's the point of drafting him at 12 and then giving the ball to him 6 times?
Yeah, I mean, he got out-snapped. Montgomery was in for 77%.
At that point, go get Zay Flowers. It's going to be on the field every play.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. That's my take.
Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, good win for the Lions. I mean, I'm not going to take nothing from them. I mean, they definitely went out there and went into Kansas City and won the game.
For sure. I think they're a little focused on that. Chiefs are a little focused on the ceremony and stuff, but it is what it is.
Tends to happen that way, though.
It's week one. I mean, I still got the Chiefs as my Super Bowl winner. Even after how they looked last night, it doesn't faze me at all. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes. They need Kelsey back, obviously, but they need a wide receiver also, too. I mean, honestly, Blake Bell and Noah Gray played good.
Noah Gray played good. Drake Bell, he played pretty good as well. I mean,
for filling in, Blake Bell did good.
Was it Drake Bell that scored that? Travis Kelce looked like a happy dad. He looked like
it was Blake Bell. He looked like he taught him everything that he's ever seen in his entire life.
Proud father moment.
So, I think the tight end position they're okay right now, but they need more help. It's just the drops. They don't drop the passes, they win.
I think they need a speedster. They don't have no Mecole Hardman.
No, and Scantling is just
fast. Don't get me wrong. He's fast.
He's a vertical guy. He's not
got a burner.
No.
All right, so week 1, who's your picks this week?
Week 1, we have Texans versus Baltimore, and I'm taking Lamar Jackson all day on that. I mean, C.J. Stroud's first game. I mean, I know Marlon Humphreys is out for Baltimore, but I don't think that's going to matter. And let's see what this new Baltimore offense looks like. I mean, we don't know. I mean, they said they gave Lamar the whole keys to the offense. So if he's anything like what he was at Louisville when he was throwing that thing, dueling with Deshaun Watson, and his team had no other talent with him, how do you bet against the guy? So
yeah, I'm going
definitely that game. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, that's a lock of the week. You can parlay that with some other stuff for sure. Another one here we got Cincy and Cleveland, or the Elves, as Jamar Chase is going to call them from now on. That's a division game that kind of means a lot week 1. Joe Burrow just got paid, so I'm going to ride with Cincy just based off of him getting paid the big bucks. But Jamar Chase gave Cleveland all of the bulletin board material to just go out there and give them the dog walking like they could.
I think that adding Zadarius Smith to that D-line with Myles Garrett.
It's true.
That's true. What Jamar Chase said, I think they're going to come out with some fire. I think they're going to put pressure early on Burrow and make it hard for them to drive down the field. So I'm gonna go Cleveland. I think they're going to be able to control the ball a little better. I think that you really just got to give the ball to Nick Chubb, let Deshaun Watson play like he was in Houston, and at the end of the day, I think Cleveland's got that game in the bag.
Yeah, and it is in Cleveland also, so I will say this home team second, so you know. The thing with Watson, though, is I really hope that Kevin Stefanski can kind of mold his offense into what Deshaun Watson's good at. Let him get out there and make some plays with his legs. Don't make him just be that pocket passer, your play action stuff every single time, because as a coach, you got to mold your offense to what's good for your quarterback. I mean, that's just how it is.
For sure. I agree with that 100%.
So I definitely hope we see that this year, because we really didn't see it last year, but he didn't play that many games, so it's kind of hard to really get a full sample size on that. Next game we got here, we got Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield versus Minnesota. Jay Jetta is going to be grittying all over that team.
I think so too. Minnesota, I think that's you could damn near parlay that with the Baltimore
with
game.
The Ravens.
I mean, yep. I don't think the Tampa Bay roster is bad by any means. I think
they got
Baker
a good
Mayfield might have a great year, but at the end of the day, I think he's going to take a few weeks to get used to a new system, new plays. I mean, only time he came out and balled out was when he was on the Rams, and that was 1 week. So, I mean, I'm going to take Minnesota. I think Kirk Cousins has something to prove. His wife picking out his outfit, so.
Alexander Madison's going to go out there. I mean, being a Dolphins guy, I think Coach Flo is going to really turn that defense around. I mean, you've seen Byron Murphy in training camp. He's been locking people down. He's been looking good. I mean, Xavier Howard was a good corner, but when Brian Flores became the head coach of the Dolphins, he made him a great corner. I think he can go in there and kind of really help that room out. So, and let's be real. If Minnesota loses this game, it's going to be a long season for Minnesota.
All I got to say is my roommates are 2 delusional Vikings fans. And I tell them all the time that defense is still atrocious. I mean, don't get me wrong. Flo's a great DC, but dude, they're atrocious.
But why do you let Zadarius Smith go and only keep Daniel Hunter? Like, it's nice to have those 2 pass rushers. Eric Kendricks is gone. It's a whole new look defense, but I mean, Flo can make things happen. So I guess we'll see.
I live with 2 delusional Vikings fans, and I'm still gonna pick the Vikings. But
you have to.
Quessy ain't cooking.
Yep. Next one we got. This one is it's kind of a tough, almost a flip of a coin. Tennessee and New Orleans. It's in Louisiana. It's in the Dome. Derek Carr's first game. Alvin Kamara is suspended. I still gotta go. It's tough, dude. You pick.
Me? For me, it's tough because I'm a Falcons fan. So we dislike the Saints very much.
Yep.
I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a field day. I think he's going to go out there and say, I went to a team. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I think D-Hop has something to prove that the Cardinals let him go for chump change. And to be honest, I'm still going to take the Saints. I think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Tannehill is. So I'm just going to take the Saints based off the fact that they're at home. It's hard to win in a dome. It is. I think the Saints defense is better than the Titans.
Yeah, I have the Saints marked. I'm going to stick with the Saints. I mean, unless Derrick Henry goes for 200, I think it's really going to be hard for that Titans offense to really open up. So
I agree.
I'm gonna agree with everything you said. I'm gonna go with the Saints too. I think Derek Carr's got a lot to prove too. Leaving Oakland,
Sure.
I don't care. Vegas, whatever you want to call them, the Raiders.
I bet you Michael Thomas scores a touchdown.
I could see that. 5-yard slant. Next game we got. This is it's another division game. You got the LA Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Rams. Not Rams. Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm
No
going
Cooper
Seahawks
Kupp,
too.
no Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp's playing. Might change my opinion a little bit.
Yep.
But with how Geno Smith looked last year,
He looked good.
I have to take Seattle.
So do
Bobby
I.
Wagner returns.
From the Rams. That's funny.
Exactly.
They get Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he's going to be their slot receiver now. I think he's going to do good. They still got Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Seattle's going to be pretty good. I'm pretty hyped for Seattle this year. I think they will do good this year. Definitely Seattle. I'd say by 10.
For sure.
Next one we got is a big one for you. Carolina versus Atlanta. You can go first.
I'm going to take Atlanta just because the fact that I think Desmond Ridder is the guy, and I think he's going to want to all right, he's not the guy, but he is the guy in Arthur Smith's system. Because the fact Arthur Smith wants to run the ball, control the clock, and he's kind of got a guy like Derrick Henry and Bijan now, and he's got two big playmakers in Kyle Pitts and Drake London. So, I mean, our defense is really good this year. People aren't giving them enough credit. So I think we win by like 10. I think we have something to prove in Mercedes-Benz Stadium week 1. I think Arthur Smith wants to show that he went to a bad team and he's going to make them have a playoff run type year. And I'm just going to take Atlanta because I think we're going to control the clock and we're not going to turn the ball over.
Okay, and I'm not going to think I'm taking Atlanta. I am taking Atlanta. I'm going to be confident when I say this. I'm taking the Birds. They're going to be Dirty Bird all out there. Panthers, you got Adam Thielen hurt. You got DJ Shark hurt. I mean, their only wide receiver is a rookie, Jonathan Mingo. Bryce Young's going to have nobody to throw to, and I don't think it's going to be good. I mean, I really don't. I think Atlanta's going to go out there. I know it's a division game, but I don't think it's going to matter. Desmond Ridder's a little bit far ahead in the NFL process than Bryce Young. It's going to be his first game out there. You got Bijan Robinson. You still got Tyler Algier, like you said. You got Drake London, Kyle Pitts. So I'm going Atlanta. And I think they're going to probably dominate the whole game.
I'm thinking Kyle Pitts is going to go out there and get 80-plus yards, a touchdown, and I think he wants to show everybody that he still is that guy that was drafted 4th overall. Because, I mean, a lot of people are having him written off, and that's just not who he is. Kyle Pitts is a competitor. I could see him breaking one tackle, taking a long one to the crib. And Bijan, we drafted him 8. We're going to give him the ball more than the Lions gave the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep, and I think Bijan's going to show why he was a first-round pick and a top 10 pick. And the joker position with Cordell Patterson, you never know where that guy's going to be. So I think that's something cool to see.
Yep.
Next game we got Jacksonville versus the Colts. I'm taking Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. I mean, the way they finished the season last year, they look really good. They get Calvin Ridley. Evan Ingram was a guy last year. They still have Christian Kirk. Zay Jones even still. You got Travis Etienne. They go get Tank Bigsby. Doug Peterson knows what he's doing. I mean, the guy won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He kind of got the short end of the stick. They kind of ran him out of town. But he's really turning around that franchise. And the Colts, I have no idea what they're going to do. I mean, they have a rookie in Anthony Richardson. Their best player, Jonathan Taylor, doesn't even want to play. I don't think it's going to be good. I got Jags.
Yeah, for
Easy.
sure. I have the Jags as well. Even though I think Anthony Richardson is going to put on a show, I think he's still young. I think he might throw a pick or two. But I think he's going to have some big highlight plays that get Colts fans excited for the future.
I agree. Next one, it's a good game here. I think this is probably almost one of the games of the week, in my opinion. You got 49er in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Kenny Pickett's looked really good in preseason. I know it's preseason, but he played good at the end of the year last year. And T.J. Watt's there. And that, to me, is a difference maker. He's been in training camp where Nick Bosa has – I know he's going to be ready to play. He's going to be conditioned, all of those things. He's keeping his body ready to go, but he hasn't been there. So I'm gonna go on a fly here, and I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think they go out there and they make a statement like they're a legit team to be reckoned with. And I think Najee Harris will be able to run the ball. I really do. You got Jalen Warren to mix it up, and you still got George Pickens, absolute dog. And you still got Deontay Johnson and Pat Freiermuth as a tight end. So I definitely think they're going to control the game. The defense is going to play good. They got Minka holding down the back end. Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. Terrible Towel is going to be flying.
It's in Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
I really want to take Pittsburgh here, but
it's hard.
As great as a coach as Mike Tomlin is, I think Kyle Shanahan has something schemed up. Couple big play touchdowns by maybe Debo. I think Ayuk's going to go out there and have a day. But at the end of the day, they got, in my opinion, the best back in football, and that's Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
So, I mean, with as many weapons as they have on the field at the same time, and George Kittle, McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Debo, it's just hard to stop. I mean, if Brock Purdy don't turn the ball over, I mean, I don't think it matters how great that Pittsburgh defense is.
I honestly think a turnover might change that game. And to be fair, I think that might be like a game-winning field goal type game.
Oh, I agree. I think that's honestly my favorite game of the week.
Yeah, that's the matchup there that I'm pretty excited for because I think Pittsburgh has the potential to be a top team in the AFC.
They go in the division.
And the AFC is tough.
Division. Their division is tough.
Yep, it might be tougher than the AFC East, to be honest with you. I would say it is. Depends on. Do you like any of those other quarterbacks more than Mac Jones? Is what it comes down to.
That's true.
So, but yeah, this next game's pretty easy. You got Arizona versus Washington. I think Joshua Dobbs or Tune, who's ever starting, is going to get sacked at least 8 times, and nothing's going to go good. I think Sam Howell's going to go out there and look good, better than probably appealing. People are going to kind of blow him out of expectations for week 1. But I got Washington. I mean, I think it's not going to be good. I don't have nothing positive to say about the Cardinals right now.
Nah, only thing I got positive to say about the Cardinals is Caleb Williams will be coming to town.
Yeah. I mean, one season.
That's about it.
That's literally it. Next one's another division game. This is a big game. I mean, both these two teams have something to prove this year. One probably a little more than the other, but you got the Raiders versus the Broncos. You can pick.
I'm going the Broncos. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Raiders have a great head-to-toe. Oh, not great, but, I mean, they got so many great players like Josh Jacobs, Tay, and Max Crosby. So, I mean, that being said, I'm still going to take the Broncos. I don't think Jerry Jeudy hurt affects it too much. I think Cortland Sutton has a big day. And I think Russ is tired of all the hate he's getting, and I think Russ is going to go out and show out.
I'm gonna go with the Broncos also. I think Russell Wilson definitely has something to prove this year. If he can't go out there and beat the Raiders, it's gonna be a long year. Yeah, I mean the Raiders do have good players, but what's Jimmy G gonna do? The only thing that's going good for Jimmy G is he has already been in Josh McDaniels' system when he was in New England. So I think people might be overlooking that a little bit or not really thinking that. So I think if he kind of fits the system like he was in New England, the Raiders could be decent. It's tough. I'm just gonna take Sean Payton and Russell Wilson more than Jimmy G and Josh McDaniels.
Fair enough.
Next game's a tough one here. You got Miami and the Chargers.
Taking the Chargers due to the one fact that Teron Armstead is not playing. I think Tua might be concussed with that fact. I mean, how is he out with a back, ankle, and a knee injury? That is not good news. That is not good news for Miami fans because at the end of the day, Teron Armstead deserves so much credit. I mean, more than he gets. I mean, it don't matter if you're throwing to Tyreek and Waddle when you got to sit back and wait for them to get downfield. I mean, you could check it down to them and let them make plays with their feet, but Teron Armstead missing is bigger than people think.
Yeah, and Jalen Ramsey's still out too. That's another thing. I'm still going Dolphins though. I think it's Kellen Moore's first game as the OC in LA. I don't know how good of a page they're actually going to be on, him and Herbert and all the receiving core that they got. The Dolphins still have a great defense. With you got Jalen Phillips, you got Christian Watkins, Christian Wilkins, Zach Steeler, Bradley Chubb, and then you still got Xavier Howard and Javon Holland.
It's going to be low scoring.
It's gonna be low scoring. I think it'll be more low scoring than people think. I bet you everybody thinks it'll be like 28-35. But I think Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins have a lot to say last year, actually going to LA and losing. So I think they kind of watched that game tape, and they got something to prove this year. If they want to be a legit contender in the AFC, they got to go out there and win this game.
I got a 21-24 prediction. I'm taking the Chargers.
That's solid.
Just because the fact that Teron Armstead's out. If Teron Armstead's playing, I'm definitely taking the Dolphins.
I'm going to go 27-24. The only reason the Teron Armstead doesn't really affect us that much is to his lefty, but if he gets knocked out, then Mike White's done for.
Yep.
This one we got Eagles and Patriots.
Just next.
Yeah,
Eagles.
Yeah. Do you want to speak on that, or are you good?
Do I have to speak on that? I mean,
nah, I got us covered.
What is there good to say about the Patriots?
Right now, nothing.
Besides the fact that Bill Belichick tried to break the rules by elevating someone from the practice squad, and only thing he did was lose Bailey Zappi $900,000 a year.
Yeah, so definitely Eagles. Another division game here. This is a good game. I mean, this is two teams that kind of have something to prove. You got the state you're living in right now. You got the Green Bay Packers going over to Chicago to play the Bears. You can talk on it.
I'm going to take the Bears. I mean, where I'm from here, there's Bears fans and there's Packers fans because we're right in between Green Bay and we're right in between Chicago. And to be honest, I think Christian Watson being out with that hamstring injury has a lot to do with this game. I think Jordan Love isn't going to have his go-to guy, which is going to be bigger than people think. And I think Justin Fields has something to prove. I mean, he has weapons now. Their whole roster is looking a lot better this year. So I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on that. I'm also taking the Bears. I do think the Christian Watson injury is kind of going to hurt Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love has a lot to prove this year. I mean, being the guy that's going to replace Aaron Rodgers, I think he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, and I think it's going to be talked about a lot. But I think Justin Fields has a lot to prove also, too. They go out there, they get DJ Moore, they kind of build that team up. They get Tremont Evans and free agency to kind of build that defense up. And Justin Fields is Justin Fields. I mean, me and you have both watched him enough at Ohio State to know that he is a guy. He hasn't had a team there in Chicago, and I definitely think this is probably the best team he's had, the best receiving core he's had. I think he's gonna make a huge leap, and I could really see the Bears pushing Detroit for that number one seed in that division.
I agree. That's a great take.
Another division game here. This is a big one also. You got the Giants going to Dallas.
I'm really high on the Cowboys this year, and I think, Darren Waller just came down with a hamstring, it looked like.
This hamstring, yes. Yep, questionable. And this is Sunday night football, too, by the way.
I mean, he has an extra day, but to be honest, I'm taking Dallas. I think Tony Pollard's going to have a big night. I think Brandon Cooks is getting really, really slept on. I think he's going to have a 1,000-yard season like he has every other place he's been at.
Yep.
And I think Dak Prescott is going to look super comfortable having three good receivers in CD, Cooks, and Michael Gallup.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on that also. I'm also taking the boys. I think Tony Pollard is going to have a big day, big night, as you should say. And their defense is good. I mean, people are really not talking about that defense. I mean, they got Micah Parsons. They got Stephon Gilmore. I mean, that's a good number 2 corner to go with Travion Diggs. And, Malik Hooker, being an Ohio State guy, was great at Ohio State. He just came out and got injured and had injuries, but he was good last year in Dallas. So I think Dallas probably goes out there and they win by 10. I'd say 10, probably like a 27-17 type game.
I need 24 to say, yeah.
I need to see more from somebody other than Saquon Barkley for that Giants offense to really have a good say on that team.
Yeah, I agree.
Last game of the slate, we got a big one here. Monday night, we got the Buffalo Bills heading over to MetLife Stadium to face the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers.
To be fair, I think the Buffalo Bills have a hell of a team now that we know Diggs is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think the Jets have two of the best DBs, one of the best secondaries in the league. Honestly, I think they have one of the best defenses in the league. And I think Josh Allen's going to struggle. I think he might throw an interception or two. I think they're going to have some turnovers, and I think those turnovers are going to lead to good field position where the Jets can capitalize. They capitalize off it and get some easy points. And I think Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson connection is going to be a little underrated. I think they're going to go out there, have a night, and I think the backfield adding Dalvin Cook gives Breece. I think it opens up Breece Hall more in a way. He's not going to have as much volume for fantasy owners, but I think he's going to be able to pop a big couple runs and get them in the end zone.
So Josh Allen did struggle last year against the Jets when they had Zach Wilson out there. So you give them Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back NFL MVP a couple seasons ago. He gets back with Nathaniel Hackett. He has probably the best team he's had since the Green Bay Packers won their Super Bowl with his only one ring. The defense is loaded. They have probably one of the best or the best D-lines in all of football. Their secondary is elite. You got Sauce out there. He's going to be talking his talk. He's going to be on Diggs all night. He'll be traveling with him. He better be traveling with him. And I don't know who the number 2 is for Buffalo. Like, who's going to really take that heat off of Diggs. I don't think Dave Davis is going to do nothing against old DJ Reed. James Cook, I haven't seen enough of him to really put a full saying in. I know his brother Dalvin Cook's going to go out there and he's going to show him who Big Brother really is. So I'm taking the Jets, and I think they're going to make a statement with this game. This is a statement game for them. They've been all the talk of Hard Knocks. They get the Monday night game. They have 8 primetime games. Yes, they have a very tough schedule, but they have Aaron Rodgers. And I think Aaron Rodgers has something to prove this year, just like Tom Brady had something to prove when he left New England.
You know how was it last year's Thursday night game? The Bills started off versus the Rams, and everyone had high hope for the Rams coming off that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a game like that. I think it's going to be a game where the Jets go out and they flip the script and they just dominate. I really think Josh Allen's going to struggle. And I think after week 1, after Josh Allen struggles, I think people are finally going to question that he's a turnover kind of guy. And
he led the league in interceptions.
His big playability is finally going to be talked about as a turnover guy like Eli Manning was in New York.
Yeah. So we're both riding Jets. We're pretty similar on a lot of those picks, so we'll see how week 1 goes.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's definitely the NFL slate. We got some college to talk about. Got some college to talk about. And they're definitely starting with all prime time, Deion Sanders. The guy got so much hate and so much talk, and everybody was saying, oh, he ain't going to do this, he ain't going to do that. He went in there and he won his first game. He won his first game. It don't matter. And he's about to win his second game too.
Against a bummy team in Nebraska.
Yeah, that is true. But guess what?
Wait till they play real competition.
The 2 games that I already circled is USC. I mean, you're gonna have stars out there. You're gonna have Caleb Williams. You're gonna have Schrader Sanders. You're gonna have Travis Hunter, and you're gonna have Zachary Branch. So I mean, that's gonna be superstars out there. I need to see more from USC's defense to really probably put them in the top 5 team, because they're letting San Diego State and Utah State put up points on them, and that cannot be happening. Or Nevada, I'm sorry, that cannot be happening if they want to win a big title or something like that. To catch on that, is Travis Hunter the best player in college football?
I've seen him play 1 week against a not very good TCU team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still going to say it's Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't care that he plays both ways.
Okay.
I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say more.
You the rest of the country, bro. You're glazing Colorado so much.
He reminds me of a Chris Gamble from Ohio State. I mean, you just see the comparisons with him. He was the number 1 recruit in the country for a reason. I'm not gonna say he's the best in the country right now, but he's definitely a top 5 player in the country.
I can agree with that, but I think you're like the rest of the country. I think Colorado's getting too much hype. I don't know how they're already ranked. I think that TCU team lost a lot of talent. They lost their best player in Max Duggan and Quentin Johnson. So, I mean, I think TCU's getting a little too much, or Colorado's getting a little too much love for beating a not very competitive TCU team, in my opinion.
Okay. I got Colorado's schedule right here. This week, Nebraska. You got that a win?
Duh. Colorado's terrible. Or Nebraska's terrible.
Next week, Colorado State.
Duh.
Okay, 3-0, right? They go into Ochowicz Stadium, and they play the Ducks.
And they lose.
Probably going to be
Bo Nix is gonna
a midnight game for the Pac-12. So you're saying lose there. Okay, let's say they win, right? Let's say they win. I'm not saying they're going to, but let's say they do. Next week, they got USC coming to town.
And then they're going to be 3-2. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, my goodness. Colorado isn't as good as we thought.
Okay, say they go 3-2. They got ASU the next week.
So it'll be 4-2.
Stanford?
5-2.
UCLA?
5-3.
Oregon State? DJ looked good. DJ Ungulate, he looked good. U of A?
6-4.
Washington State?
6-5.
Utah?
6-6.
I said they beat Washington State, and I would go hammer.
Michael Penix?
Washington State. That's Washington.
Oh, yeah, no, they'll beat Washington State. Yeah, 7-5.
7-5, and it's crazy because they were saying that they're only going to win 3 games beginning of the year.
Okay, I'm just hating on Colorado really bad because I think they're getting too much hype. But at the end of the day, they could be like an 8-win team.
Yeah, I mean, if you break down their schedule, they could win 7 games, which is good for them. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
They could go undefeated. Their schedule's not crazy. But I think they're getting hyped too early.
Yeah, I think the back-to-back to Oregon and USC is going to be tough. But if they go out there and beat Oregon first, dude, it's going to be all lights on Colorado and Caleb Williams. Schrader Sanders, Caleb Williams. College football might break with that, bro. Like, it will.
I really like the Colorado team, but they're getting too much hype too early, and it's just the whole country's glazing right now. I can't be on that bandwagon.
I feel you. The thing that worries me with Colorado is their O-line and D-line big enough to go against these teams that have all pretty much 5-star, 4-star linemen. That's the thing. I don't think they have the size for that. So they're going to have to outscore people. That's just realistically what's going to happen. I think they might have a better chance against USC because I do like Oregon's defense more than USC. I think they can score with USC, but I don't think they're going to be able.
Defense more than USC?
No, I like Oregon's defense more than USC.
Okay, yeah,
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, unless USC's defense really makes a lot of improvements these next couple weeks, San Jose State should not be scoring like that, and neither should Nevada.
I agree.
So, I kind of missed my Mike's lock of the week last week. I'm not going to blame it on Spencer Rattler. I'm going to blame it on his offensive line, letting that man get sacked 9 times for 16 tackles for loss because he had 9 incompletions and went for 300 plus. So
I don't care. You lost.
We lost. The lock lost. But, this week we got it locked up. We go Colorado -3 because they're kicking the dog water out of Nebraska. We're going to hop on the Ravens. We're going to throw Seattle on that. So we're at a 3-teamer right now. And we're going to go Bama. 4-teamer.
Over Texas?
Over Texas.
Are you serious?
I don't know. Don't take the last team yet because I haven't decided.
Are you serious?
I don't know yet. It's Quinn Ewers, man. It's Quinn Ewers.
Look what he did to Bama
I know. I am too.
Before he got hurt.
I know. So I know it was at Texas this year. It's at Bama. We're not gonna talk about that game right now. That we're gonna wait on that. Big topic here. Big topic we need to talk about. Florida State dog walked LSU in the second half.
Is LSU bad or is Florida State good?
I mean, their whole receiving core is transfers. Coleman, dog.
Transfer.
I mean that guy's good. He's a projected first round pick now.
Yeah, I seen that.
And I do like Jordan Travis. I think Jordan Travis had a good game. He looked terrible in the first half. I mean, he was doing some stupid stuff. But when he kind of settled in, like Mike Norvell knows what he's doing down there in Florida State. Their D-line, I mean, that first series, I mean, LSU had the ball inside the 2-yard line for 7 plays and didn't even get any points.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
And let's be real, they're in the ACC. The hardest team they have left is Clemson or Duke.
I got to see more out of them, to be honest. I mean, Clemson's, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think they'll win the. I think they'll win the ACC.
Yeah, I agree. I think they will too. And then they just beat a SEC team with, I mean, they're returning Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback, but LSU just seemed like it almost seemed like they were tired.
I was big on LSU. I was big on LSU, but FSU dog walked them.
It looked like they got tired near the end of that third quarter, fourth quarter, and then they just put up 31 unanswered.
Yeah.
Clemson in shambles, so that's all right.
Might as well just keep DJ at that point.
Yeah, not that upset about that. I mean, Cade Klubnik, he was running off the field, didn't even give Debo a high five. The crazy stat with that game is Clemson had 29 first downs, and Duke had 28 points. They had more first downs than the other team points, and they lost. They put up 7 points.
It was ugly.
Atrocious. That is atrocious. They were probably wishing DJ was coming out the second half.
Yeah. It was terrible.
I don't blame nothing on him now. But Florida State, they top 5 team? I think they're a top 5 team.
Put them top 8.
Top 8. I mean, they definitely hopped up since they beat LSU because they were top 8 before that game. So now we got the big one. We got Texas and we got Alabama.
I got Texas.
He goes, I got Texas. That's big. I mean, they lost both their running backs, but they still got Xavier Worthy out there. They still got Quinn Ewers out there. And Bama, his quarterback, played Middle Tennessee last week. He looked good, but it was Middle Tennessee. But do they go into Bryant-Denny Stadium, and do they pull a Johnny football, and do they go out there and beat Bama?
I think Texas wants to put that program back on the map. I think this is the year where Quinn Ewers stays healthy. I think this is the year where Texas gets put back on the map. They start getting those big 5 stars to go there. And I think this is when they turn the program back around.
You know, before we started talking, I was really leaning Bama. I mean, Jalen Milroe, he balled out last week. I mean, he is very explosive, very explosive.
For sure.
But I think Steve Sarkisian is going to go in there. He's going to have his team ready to play. He's going to know the environment, and he's going to go out there and he's going to beat Nick Saban. He's going to beat the guy that kind of got him back on the map. And I think it's going to be the biggest win that Texas has had in a long time.
Yeah.
So hook them.
I agree. I think so too. I think Texas wants to put that program back on the map. I think Steve Sarkisian is not an NFL coach, but he is an amazing college coach. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to show this week. I think losing Bijan is definitely going to hurt them. But at the same time, I don't
Xavier Worthy's down there. He's good.
Exactly. I think Xavier Worthy will be fine. I think Quinn Ewers, what he was doing to them last year before he got hurt. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think Quinn Ewers goes out there, has himself a game, gets himself back on the map. He's kind of fell off a little bit. But I want to see Texas win this week.
I mean, we got to realize Quinn Ewers was the number 1 recruit in the country coming out of high school. From South Lake Caroline, Texas. So I think he's used to big games. I think he was in the game last year, so it ain't gonna be nothing new to him. And let's be real, Texas played Rice last week with JT Daniels. The guy's just transferring everywhere.
Yep.
At least he's playing now. He's starting. Didn't get benched again. Texas did not use their whole playbook in that game versus Rice. They definitely kept some secrets. They're gonna have some plays ready to go, some big shot plays.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm going Texas. I'm gonna ride it with you. So let's Mike of the week. Let's lock it in. Levi definitely help with that parlay. We're going Colorado -3. Texas beating Bama straight up. Hop on the Ravens and throw Seattle in there. And you know what? Throw Washington in there too. Make a 5-teamer.
Might as well.
And if you don't want Seattle versus the Rams, just take Washington. 5-teamer, lock of the week. And we'll see what happens. It's here, dude. Football is here. Week 1's here, and college football is about to take off.
Yep, for sure. I mean, it's going to be a slow week, too, of college football. Only big games we really have is it Tulane and Ole Miss?
Tulane and Ole Miss. Yep, that's 20
Tulane,
and
Ole Miss,
20,
22,
yep,
24, something like that.
20 and 24.
Bama, Texas.
Yep. Bama, Texas. Those are your big ranked games. I like Jackson Dart for Ole Miss. I think he's another good quarterback. Lane Kiffin's going to put up points. Tulane did beat USC in the Sugar Bowl last year, or the Cotton Bowl, I'm sorry. So they're going to be ready to play too. But I do think losing Tajay Spears is definitely going to kind of hurt that team. I mean, he's an NFL prospect coming out of Tulane. He's a good player, so that's definitely going to take hard to replace.
You know, for sure. It's definitely football's back. You could smell it's football season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to watch some football Sunday, even though I only get to watch like half the games. But I'm excited.
We're here. So thanks for everybody tuning in. We're definitely probably gonna hop back in. Maybe Friday again. Maybe before.
Maybe Wednesday or Friday. I'd say
Wednesday or Friday, either before the Thursday night. What is the Thursday night next week? Just in case we don't do it next week. Hold on, let me check real quick. That way we can kind of be a little ahead here. If this will show me. I know it was the Lions and Kansas City. We know who won that already. Oh, damn. This is a game here, bro.
Who is it?
This is a game. You got Minnesota heading out there to the team that always puts a whooping on them. Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, in Philly.
Yeah, in Philly. It's at Lincoln Finance Stadium.
Kirk Cousins gets to throw to his favorite target, a.k.a. Darius Slay.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Darius Slay locked up Justin Jefferson last year.
2 picks last
locked
year.
him up. Nobody's done that to him but him. I don't care what J. Alexander said. He had 230 yards the first game. Yeah. Man needs to calm down. Fly, Eagles, fly. There ain't no way in hell primetime Kirk Cousins is going in to Lincoln Financial Field and beating Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. There ain't no way. I'm sorry. You Minnesota Viking fans, your 2 roommates are Minnesota fans. Be ready for them to be crying Thursday night because the Eagles are going to bend them over like they have been the last 3 times they played them.
Funniest thing is my roommate today was like, dang, we play the Eagles on Thursday night next week. Why can't they ever come to Minnesota and play in the dang stadium? Dude, I was laughing so hard.
You know, I probably would have been a little bit not ruthless if they were playing in Minnesota from what I just said. So I'm sorry a little bit. But yeah, taking the Birds.
At least Minnesota will start 1-1.
Yep.
So, who knows? Maybe they have something to prove. Maybe they
have everything to prove. They have everything to prove.
They got bent over last year.
Yeah, and in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago. So
I think it's a team they can't beat. I think our boy Jacob will be taking off his Justin Jefferson jersey, maybe even before halftime.
He probably already shut the podcast off, so he ain't going to hear that. He's going to be a little upset from what we just said. But, you know, like you said, they have something to prove. So can they go in there and then can they really beat one of the best teams in the NFC? And can Kirk Cousins kind of get over that leap? I know it took Lamar Jackson a couple times to beat Patrick Mahomes, and he finally did 2 years ago. So let's see what happens.
To answer your question, I got a 2-letter answer, and it's N-O. No, he cannot beat Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in Philadelphia. Not happening. Might as well just not even watch the game that night. I mean, the only thing you're going to be checking on is how many points A.J. Brown's going to put up against that sorry secondary. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's how it goes. How it goes.
That's it. So we're both taking the Birds next week. So in case we don't tune in Wednesday, everybody kind of knows where we stand with that. Unless Jalen Hurts is not out there, taking the Eagles.
For sure, 100%.
So definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll probably be back next Friday again. We'll go over the slate, probably just like we did this week. Probably checking on some big fantasy performances that are going to happen this week. Kind of hard to say who's going to be. Week 1, it might be Shamaji Perine or somebody like that nobody's even going to think about.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough week 1. Week 2 gives you a little more
feel of how everything's going.
And, I mean, you're going to see teams that people were sleeping on that had a good week.
Yep.
So thanks for tuning in. Episode 10 of the VanDyke Show. So, good having you guys back on. We'll catch you guys next week.